The Backrooms is huge, massive, and there are levels and creatures and entities and objects and all these kind of effects everywhere. But because of this infinite size and this infinite expanse, that means that there's infinite lore, which means there's infinite possibilities. Which means that there's tons of information that we don't know about. Conspiracies and theories that people speculate in the fandom on. So today, I'm going to be telling you 5 of these conspiracies about the Backrooms that you did not know existed until you watched this video. From the Backrooms being a CIA PSYOP thought experiment on the masses, to liminal spaces being images from your past life, to Backrooms creatures and entities being aliens and getting sent to the Backrooms just like we did, these are 5 Backrooms theories and conspiracies that you've never heard of. Sit back and relax, grab some seasonal candy or whatever you want to eat, grab a Dr. Pepper if you don't mind, and also put on your tinfoil hat. Things are about to get crazy. With all that said, let's get into these theories, shall we? Also, these theories are not basic. They're not just, the Backrooms is a simulation. No, these get crazy. Theory 1, the Backrooms is a CIA experiment and humans are the test subjects. Does that sound crazy? Yes. Does it matter? No. Over the years, the CIA has done countless studies into astral projection, dreamscapes, and altering your physical and spiritual body into different locations and different dimensions. This is not a secret. Several classified documents, including something called Project Stargate, have essentially confirmed the evidence that they have to support these claims. Some of the studies that have been done have been for spying and for espionage, and some have been just for spiritual and soul guidance, you could say. Anyways, what if something similar to that is what the concept of the Backrooms is, and the creepypasta that we know, what if that was formed by the CIA to get us in the right headscape to try these experiments? So the Backrooms is theoretically a different dimension, right? It exists outside or like in between what we know to be reality. And the levels and the rooms and some of the places inside of it could be considered maze-like. In fact, most of the levels are just giant mazes that you have to figure out how to escape. Each of these levels has kind of its own rules, its own regulations, and its own little nuances that you need to follow in order to get out. So what if the CIA or some other para-government organization created these levels, these challenges to send humans into to see which one is the best fit or something like that? Maybe they did it with the end goal of seeing which humans could survive fully in astral projection, which ones have the strongest mind to spirit connection, and that's what they want to test. So to test it, they send a bunch of people, thousands of them, while they sleep into these different astrally projected rooms and stuff, and their goal is to see which one of us can make it through. My mind kind of hurts now, I can't even lie. Most people's theory on the Backrooms is that if it were to be real, it would be accessed via dreams or kind of lucid dreaming. This would also answer that. Many people have had dreams of this so-called liminal space or Backrooms area, and who's to say those dreams weren't kind of forced on their psyche? Maybe through some kind of radio wave, maybe through some kind of like mass psychological study, and whatever government organization is behind it could be conducting it. I mean, the theory kind of makes sense. Why didn't the Backrooms blow up before 2019, 2020, 2021? Why did it take that long? It's almost like they started this project, this experiment, right when that happened. You know, when scientists want to test behavior of how things react, they typically put a rat or a mammal in a maze and give it different stimuli. Well, what if the people in the Backrooms and the ones that explore it, what if they're the rats in the maze? I'm already on like 15 watch lists, so this probably isn't making it better, but leave a like for my safety. Thank you. Theory 2 says that the creatures and the entities that you see in the Backrooms lore are actually just physical beings from different dimensions. And they no-clipped into the Backrooms just like humans did, the same way, just from their own planet or their own galaxy or whatever. This theory is kind of more tame than that first theory, I will say, but it also makes a lot of sense, and I actually probably believe this one to be true. If the Backrooms was real and it wasn't just this creepypasta that it is, and we somehow can get there, we somehow can access it, it wouldn't make sense that beings and creatures from different dimensions or different copies of our galaxy could also interact with it and be sent there. There's no rule saying that only humans can be sent to the Backrooms. In fact, there's animals from real life on several different levels. So why couldn't there be animals from different dimensions, different galaxies, or even different sentient beings, like aliens. Some people in real life promote the idea of the multiverse theory, which pretty much says there's an infinite number of copies of our own universe with slightly different alterations, and that plays into the different galaxy theories and life beyond our planet Earth. The Backrooms doesn't obey the laws of, physical things like we do, so it would make sense that it could also tap into those different galaxies and stuff as well. The entities that you see in the lore are often odd. They look weird, they have strange abilities that seem to be almost supernatural, whether it's super strength, super speed, or the ability to phase through three-dimensional objects, or have a high level of sentience. They're very alien-like. Some of them even look like aliens, like the Neighborhood Watch from level 9, Skin Stealer, or the Smiler, or the Denizen. There's plenty of different entities that just don't look natural. They look like they're an amalgamation or some kind of different alien-type species, which would make sense if they actually were aliens from a different galaxy. Maybe the Backrooms has tapped into their respective planet, maybe it hasn't, who knows. Humans don't want to be in the Backrooms either, they want to get out at all costs, so it makes sense if the things and the creatures that are in the Backrooms also don't want to be there too. That's why they want to attack us, that's why they seem aggressive. They're just as freaked out as we are. Maybe they think we're the entities. Maybe they're normal in their own minds. Who knows? It's a theory. That's what this theory is for. Maybe the Backrooms is this primordial planetary goo that holds all of the universes together and kind of is the nexus or connecting point of it. And that's how all of these different creatures plus humans can interact. I don't know, but it sounds cool. It sounds like a good movie topic or something. I don't know. This video gets like 50,000 likes. I'll direct that movie and submit it to like A24 or something. Theory 3. The Backrooms is essentially the future of our current timeline, and when you get sent there, when you no-clip, you're simply time traveling to the future. This is another kind of crazy one, so open your mind. Just for a little bit, just a tiny bit. This specific theory comes from the fandom website, and it's the only theory that actually comes from a wiki, but I thought it was cool enough, so I had to include it in the video. It's called the unified theory. Essentially, it says the Backrooms exists in our current timeline, humanity's linear progression. It exists there. It's not in the past, it's actually in the future. And essentially, in layman's simple terms, the Backrooms is what humanity will be after we evolve too much and we have this catastrophic, cataclysmic event. Let me explain. At some point in humanity's achievements, in our evolution, we will have this technological advancement, this great invention that will essentially kind of end humanity as we know it. And whatever this great experiment is what will lead to the Backrooms being created. So we kind of invent it by accident. The experiments, whatever it is, will begin to grow rapidly and expand. And that's how we get the different levels, the different dimensions, the different layouts of the various levels. What the actual experiment isn't really known, but there's a few theories on what it could be. For instance, millions of years or thousands of years in the future, humanity might run into a problem with overpopulation. So they try to invent this AI or this thing that will create housing and apartments and living quarters for the influx of people. And maybe that's why the majority of the Backrooms resemble apartment complexes and living quarters and these areas where you can live. Maybe in our quest to find more places to live and house humans, we accidentally created this Backrooms gargantuan entity that just grows over and over and repeats itself. Maybe we did that, maybe we didn't. That's what the theory says. This map right here that you're seeing is how the theory is visualized. And as you can see before the very middle, kind of the first half on the left, humanity is evolving in sort of a neat almond shape. It's going perfectly, no real outliers are happening, everything's pretty normal. Until you get to that one human experiment, that error, that great achievement that we do that somehow creates the Backrooms. And as you can see after that, it just all explodes, and reality and anomalies and things of that nature are widespread. Those anomalies represent the different levels, the different lore systems, the different phenomena, and everything like that. Whatever we create, whatever humanity does, acts as this virus that continues to grow. Not a sick virus, but some kind of fungal infection of livable spaces, of these rooms and these environments you can explore. It would make sense if humanity was getting too crowded for the Earth that we would try to either go to different planets or try to make these different areas and a sub-reality to live in, to house storage, to house people, and to transport goods. And what if by us tapping into whatever that was, we created the Backrooms and it continues to expand? But yeah, that theory says that a human error in this great achievement that we do is what eventually causes the Backrooms, and we eventually kind of doom the Backrooms to grow and expand forever, and it's actually in the future. Theory 4. Almond water is a sentient being. Yes, I said that. Okay, so this one kind of explains itself with what I just said, but for your enjoyment and for my insanity, let's dive into this theory. I did just come up with this one while scripting, so you're gonna listen to my rambles and you're gonna like it, so you should get ready. Almond water is all over the Backrooms. It's in pretty much every safe and even some dangerous levels in the lore. It's in water fountains, it's in bottles, it's in lakes, it's in rivers, it's in streams, it's everywhere. In the different lores, even on the fandom on the wiki, it is essentially the blood that flows through the Backrooms' heart and veins. It is the Backrooms. But even though it's so popular and so widespread, not one person can tell you where it came from. It was kind of just there, and people just use it because they need it, or so it wants us to think. People have to drink it in order to not lose their sanity. If you have a scrape or a cut, you gotta use it to heal yourself. Notice how there's very little or no actual H2O water in the Backrooms. This almond water seems to have the majority. Why is that? Why? It's because it's sentient and has its own mind. Water in real life is a source of life. It is the embodiment of life. Everything needs it. Literally everything. So almond water in the Backrooms is the source of life. It is life, and you have to have it. It doesn't have branding, it doesn't have marketing, it doesn't have any of that stuff, yet everybody knows about it. What if this almond water has some sort of hive mind or sentience, kind of like a sentient virus or something like that, and it works together in order to get consumed and to spread by humans and with humans. And it uses this in-between area, like the Backrooms, as its breeding ground. And it grows and grows. The more humans digest it, the more humans drink it and find it, it grows itself in number and in size. And that's its entire goal, is to get bigger, more widespread, and it wants to be used more. It wants to be loved. Because what does every sentient thing want? It wants the affection from another partner or a person or whatever. Just like, what if almond water is just like that? What if it wants to be used by us? And by us using it, we're simply fulfilling its goal and thus being controlled by its desires. In fact, what if the exploration of all these Backrooms levels isn't because humans want to explore, it's because this almond water is driving the humans and the wanderers to explore, kind of forcing their hand and making them move on further down the Backrooms. Because by doing that, we are expanding its reach as well. And not only expanding its reach, we're expanding its use and using it more. The deeper you go to the Backrooms, the more corrupt the levels get, the more you need almond water. And that's just what it wants. It wants to be needed. Almond water is sentient, and humanity serves its interests. There's a bunch more stuff I can mention while talking about that theory, but I could just, I'm gonna leave that up to interpretation for you. That way I don't seem too crazy, if I already don't seem too crazy. Theory 5. Liminal spaces and their pictures are actually images of your past life, and you've been there before. One of the key points in the liminal space genre and the fandom of them is that they seem familiar. They have these feelings of nostalgia and melancholy, and you can almost picture that you've been there before. It seems oddly familiar. That's why myself and millions of other people enjoy liminal spaces. It's kind of like a warm hug almost, especially the nostalgic ones. But what if they're not actually nostalgic because they seem that way? What if they're nostalgic because you've literally been there before, just in a past life? Let me explain. If this theory is to be believed, then you also must sort of enter the realm of reincarnation as it relates to humanity, and the idea that humans are just reincarnated over and over again in different lives, in different paths, and in different scenarios. Relating that to this theory that liminal spaces and the pictures of them are from past lives, all of those pictures were taken by somebody in their own past life or by yourself in your own past life. Because you can look at a liminal space picture, for instance, maybe a bowling alley, and you can say that that looks liminal, it's empty, it's nostalgic, you can almost smell the image, the frying food, the floor wax. You've been to bowling alleys before, but you've never been to the exact one in that image, yet it still is that liminal nostalgic vibe. But what if that is somebody's actual image that they took in their past existence, their past life, and now you're just being reborn to connect with it? sort of like invisible strings tying it all together. If this theory was to be true, it would connect all of humanity in this sort of infinite tangle of liminality and just connection emotionally and spiritually. No one knows exactly why the liminal spaces that we all enjoy give us those feelings. There's theories, you know, because they're nostalgic, they look like our childhood, but it could go so much deeper than that if it was your childhood, if it was the exact place that you or somebody else went. And the reason there's images of it is because we or whoever took them in their past life did photograph them for the future. But it's unknowing because you can't really know when you're reincarnated. Does it actually make sense? No. Is it a good theory? Probably not, but it's entertaining, to say the least. Alright, so those were 5 Backrooms theories and conspiracies that revolve around the creepypasta in general. I've never really seen anybody theorize about the Backrooms in this way, so hopefully you do enjoy the video. If you did, I'd appreciate you leaving a like. If you want a part 2, drop a like, I'd be glad to do so. Y'all really enjoyed the top 15 Backrooms rules that you've never heard of, so this is kind of similar to that. Like I said, I really did hope you enjoy, and if you're watching to the end, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. I had a ton of fun making this video and coming up with theories. I thought it was a good video. I really enjoy it. I definitely want to make more like this, more speculative type stuff. Maybe with SCPs, maybe with Trevor Henderson stuff as well. I'm kind of just expanding into those different niches, and I've been doing it for the last year, and I really appreciate y'all watching it. But with all this yapping out of the way, I don't want to make the watch time too bad from this long outro. I think I just spit everywhere, so I'm sorry for that. But with all that said, check below for my socials, my other channels, Toogly and Spoogly. Almost forgot my channel names, and my Twitter, my Instagram, and all that. Leave a comment below, tell me what else you want me to do and go over. And with all that said, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.